Hi folks, this is Kevin Solway for MenoftheInfinite. Today I thought we'd take a look at the Atheist Evolutionary tree, with particular reference to a number of popular YouTube atheists. I've singled out only a handful of atheist channels, so I do apologise if I've left you out of the classification. In actual fact, as you can see, it's not much of a tree to speak of. There are 6 categories of atheists in this classification, with 5 of them being more or less on the same level, and the 6th one being in a completely different class on its own. Now, some of you might think that I have a bias for putting the Men of the Infinite in that category, but I can assure you that that's not the case at all. I'll now take you through each of the categories and show a small video clip as a sample of each. The first category is the scientific atheists, all of which are very good, but if you already believe in science and you have a good understanding of science, they can become a bit boring. Very few people from this group ever become philosophers, and even more rarely do they become wise. Here's a small clip from Thunderfoot.
Believe whatever you want to believe, but temper it with the perspective of the standard of living delivered to you by materialistic science. Remember that science does not preclude you from indulging in whatever fantasies blow your metaphorical skirt up. So do not hamstring those who dedicate their lives to the development of the infrastructure we all rely on for our survival and for our quality of life, and which ultimately may hold the balance of the future existence of life on Earth.
The next 4 categories I call the cultural atheists, because they draw from a wide range of sources, even though they're sometimes not very cultured at all. A case in point is the group known as the swearing or angry atheists. Their most popular topics are swearing, the stupidity of religious people, swearing, food, swearing, sex, and swearing. Actually, I should say I've got Pat Condell listed there. I'm not sure whether he does swear in his videos, but it certainly seems like he is. So that's why I've included him in that group. But for all their swearing, they don't do quite as good a job of it as the comedian Billy Connolly, so I include here a short clip from one of his shows.
That's it for me. Religion's fucking finished. That's it. It's fucking over, lads. It's fucking over. For a couple of thousand years, you fucked it. It's over. It's fucking over. Take your Reformation, your Vatican, your fucking Mecca, and fuck off.
The next group I call the naive atheists, and I know I'm going to get in trouble for this group because it just so happens that it contains only women, and I don't have any women in any of the other groups. But I certainly didn't do this on purpose. The members of this group fell there quite naturally without any help on my part. I'm sure there are some male atheists on YouTube who would fall into this group, but I couldn't be bothered finding them. Here's a short clip from Zaugui, ready to pounce on an unsuspecting Christian.
Well, Mr. Crazy 316, it would appear that you think we atheists are bluffing when we claim to know the contents of the Bible. So let me put my money where my mouth is. I welcome you to come to Blog TV and challenge me to a real-time biblical quiz. I'll happily work around your schedule. Just let me know what time is good for you. Just so you'll know I'm not looking up the answers, I promise to wear a blindfold during the quiz.
I should mention before moving on that I'm not very happy about putting Ghost of Day in person and Zaugui in this group. It's quite possible they should be in a different category. Next we have the Satirical Atheists, who have a relatively easy job, it must be said, because all they have to do is to repeat the common Christian arguments word for word. Having said that, keeping a straight face would require quite some effort. Here's Jesus File doing his thing.
And the same with God, it's either he's there or he's not, so it's a 50% chance. But there is evidence for him existing, which is the world, which is us, the entire world, everything on it. And there's no evidence for him not existing, because if he wouldn't exist, he wouldn't have been able to make anything, and there would be nothing. See? So that's actually evidence against God not existing. If there was no God, he wouldn't have created anything, and there would be nothing, but there is a lot of stuff. So that's evidence for God. So no matter what you say, the chance of him existing is at least 51%. Even atheists have to admit that. It's at least 51%. So we are already in the, we're already ahead. We already have that. And so that's just logic.
There's a group very dear to my heart, which is the Philosophical Atheists. This group has potential to reach much higher than all the other groups, but there's no guarantee that it will. Here's a short clip of Lord Immolation.
What is the self? What does it mean to say that a particular system or a particular object has a self? How is the self different from consciousness? And what does it mean to say that a particular being or object has self-consciousness?
And last of all, but not least, we reach the wise atheists, who have abandoned all emotion, attachments and intellectual crutches. But I can't tell you how we do that, because if I do, we'll lose our advantage.